Hello everyone, welcome to another one of my video tutorials. Today I'd like to show you how to create a faux layer card. It's all made with one piece of white cardstock, and although it looks like there's layers of colored cardstock in behind, it's all done with Copic markers, an airbrush, and stamps. So hope you'll like what we're going to do today. To start out with, as I said, I took just regular cardstock, and I started by drawing in lines that are going to create my border. I did 1/8 inch in and then 1/4 inch in, and you can do it whatever size suits you. I like the smaller borders, and I'm going to color those in with marker. So rather than color the whole thing and bore you to tears, I started by coloring one a little bit, and I'll continue with it, but that way you don't have to watch me color the whole thing. I'm going to start by using Copic color, a sketch marker B93. And when I do, well, actually for the inside I don't have to worry, but when I go to do the outer border, I'm going to open the card just in case some of the ink bleeds through. I don't want to get any on the back of my card. But sweeping away from me, I find that easier when I'm trying to do straight lines. It might work differently for you, but this works best for me. I'm just going across there, turn it around like this way, and I try to get my lines as straight as possible, but it doesn't always get perfect, and the card still looks great regardless. Doing the other one. Now, some who have the what are they? KO or Chow, I'm not sure how that's pronounced, but have the other Copic markers that have a really fine tip. You probably find this a whole lot easier than using the sketch brush tip, but I like the sketch markers for other reasons, so I sacrifice that fine tip, and I'm doing fine with just the brush here. Okay, after I've done the light blue, now I'm going to go in with a darker blue, and I'm using B99. Come in on the other side. Oops. Get that little spot. Some days my hands are steadier than others, so today's not a bad day. So, oops. There you go. You just saw me make a little bit of a boo-boo there, but it's okay. Normally I do this a little slower when I'm coloring on my own. Okay, so there I have the starting of my card. Now, the next stage is to create this band across here. And to do that, I'm just going to take regular photocopy paper and going to tear it kind of in a wavy pattern here, just so it has some interest. Okay, I'm going to start by putting that on the top part here, and I'm just going to use a little bit of tape to hold it where I want it. I'm going to be airbrushing this. I'm just going to tape it right down just so it stays where I want it. Okay, now after we've got that, I want to place the bottom piece here, and I've left, you probably can't see the shadow in behind here, but I have this down a little bit so there'll be a white band, as you can see in here. So that's set, and then, whoops, put my card back where I want it. And then I'm going to set the other one with a band here, but before I do that, I'm going to create the tag, the faux tag. And to do that, I'm using a product called Mask It, and it's sort of like Mac Tack, but it's repositionable, and you can put it on your card and pull it off, and it doesn't wreck anything. And then a Stampin' Up! Tag punch. This is the larger punch, and I'm just going to punch this out of the center, and you want to save this because you'll be using that as well. But peeling the paper off of this so that I get just the Mac Tack part. Okay. Having this there just to kind of give me an idea visually where my tag is going to go. And now I'm just going to, whoops, tip that at an angle there. I'm going to put that tag there. Okay. Now before I put that bottom piece on, we're going to stamp the world and this compass set down here. And I'm using a stamp set from Stampin' Up! Called the Open Sea. I'll be using the earth, the compass, and the anchor on this set. And to stamp my image, I'm going to be using Midnight Muse, a Stampin' Up! Ink pad. I want this image not really dark, even though I'm using a dark ink, so I'm going to stamp it off a little bit on my scrap paper first, just so it's not, oops, I forgot one thing here. I don't want my ink to stamp onto my border, so using a sticky note, I'm just going to place that there, huff on that to re-moisten it, and I'm going to stamp. And you got to push hard, because with the masket there and the sticky note, it kind of makes a ridge, so you can see there's a little bit of a blank spot around there. If you stamp too light, you'll have a really blank spot. Now I'm going to use the compass again. I'm going to stamp it off, and I'm just going to stamp that there. Okay. So now that I have that where I want it, still leaving this in place, now I want to take the bottom of this. I'm going to place it where I want it. Taking the sticky note again, I'm going to mask off the border once again. I'm masking off the border from this side. Okay, now using the same ink, and again using the world. This time I'm going to leave it dark, but I'm going to stamp in the center here, pushing hard. Again using the compass, and I'm just randomly stamping in where this border is. A little bit on the edge there. Okay. I'm still leaving the paper in place. This is where I'm going to airbrush. And I'm going to be using B95 this time, so 2 up from the other one. And try to hold your paper down. When you're using sticky notes, the stickiness holds it down so the air doesn't blow underneath, but when you're just using regular copy paper, if you're not careful and you're spraying towards it, you can kind of lift it, and then you'll have your ink feathering out underneath where you don't want it, so maybe hold it down a bit. And this is usually where my fingers get inky, because it's kind of hard to hold it without doing so. Now I'm going to go back in with another Copic color. I'm doing E34. Again, going back in. Just adding a bit of this E here and there just to make it look neater. Some of my markers are getting dry, and I have refills on order, but they're not here yet, so it doesn't always spray as good when they're getting dry. Hopefully I'll get enough here. Normally it sprays quicker. Okay. I think I have that good enough. I would put a little